There we go. I just got the okay word live. Hope you guys are all having a good day. It has been a wild ride so far over the last 24 hours of Bitcoin. We got pushed down below the 20 week moving average here. We still have an opportunity to close above it, but I'm not sure at this point here. We'll be looking at some technical analysis today, guys, and then on top of that, we'll be also looking at some Federal Reserve information as far as the Fed minutes that were released today. um, that's part of the reason that Bitcoin's going down right now. You saw it have an effect on the overall market. I think the only sector that I saw that was green today was happened to be healthcare, I believe. Let me go over here and check very fast. Healthcare, consumer defensive, real estate, energy, and utilities. So you saw money moving out of tech, the larger market caps, and moving into more reliable, stable companies right here. That's not going to have such a massive influxes of cash, so to speak, coming in to pump everything up and then eventually dump here. But you did see a lot of crazy moves here. And Frontier Group Holdings crashed 10% today. Youch. I haven't flown Frontier in a long time. Frontier is bad. But we'll see how that. Oh, we'll see if I ever have to fly them again. Hey, Justin. Hey, C-Bus. Hey, Jim Bob, Joker, Crypto Booster. Hope you guys are all having a good day. All right. One sip of water, then here we go. So let's do some technical analysis with Bitcoin first. And then afterwards, I do have an article up here from the New York Times. I've read it. It's fairly good if you ask me, and it's free. I don't have to pay for it, right? And we'll be looking at this as well because it's short, concise, and it gives you a pretty good understanding of what's going on here and the worries, of what the Fed may be thinking and why they chose to make this decision to start selling off large portions of their balance sheet over a period of time. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Yeah, let's start off with Bitcoin here. So right now, we got back up above the 20-week moving average here for just a little bit of time, and then we got rejected back down here. It's rare that we get rejected like this. Like last time we popped up above it, we tested it out, but it took a few weeks. It took about a little over a month, right? After we broke out above this one, we still managed. Oh, excuse me, right here, we still held it pretty well. Broke out above it here. We held above it for a little bit of time before making a move down. Um, we didn't break out above it here. Yeah, usually the 20 moving average, it does do pretty well. The last time the 20 moving average didn't work out was right back over here, July 18th of 2018, and then all the way back over here, February 26th of 2018. And we saw some nasty moves where afterwards they proceeded to have a steep fall before a little bit more of a rebound on this one. And the other one it just kind of consolidated afterwards after having a pretty nasty fall before it ultimately plummeted back down to the 200 daily moving average. We'll see what happens next, but it seems like there wasn't enough buyers to really get us over that hump of that 200 daily moving average. Normally the 200 is represented by the yellow line, but right now, because we're on the weekly chart and I want to show you guys the daily moving average, it's going to be this red line up here. And we tapped on it, or got pretty close at least, and unfortunately we got rejected. So we're back in kind of this, not danger territory, but a lot of you guys probably got stopped out of your positions. I got stopped out of some of my positions today. Um, I'm still holding on to a lot of stuff. Partly because I was busy with Loki at the dog park today. He was actually at a contractor at the house, but Loki's still wet from the dog park. He found a puddle and he just went crazy with it. Um, but I'm still holding a decent portion of what I've been buying over the past few weeks here. I sold some off for some profits. What I'm holding now, I'm okay with just holding a little bit longer. If you guys are swinging and your stop loss is hit, or for whatever reason, right, you sold out, don't feel like you have to panic buy back in at this point. I'm just kind of watching this bit by bit, and I'm probably going to wait for another breakout before I add more to my positions going forward here. Because right here, I mean, it wasn't even a challenge for the shorts to bring us back down here. And I know we talked about how we had heard that shorts were kind of building a wall around $48,000, and that's really ultimately where we ended up getting back up to. Right here, the high of this candle was $48,240 of last week, right? So the shorts actually had a pretty decent wall that we were not able to break out above. And when after we came back down after those 2 days, we never even bothered to retest that level. So right now, I'm gonna say, like, after looking at that and looking at that breakout and not working out in our favor, I'm gonna buy some more on another breakout. But I'm not gonna be mm, adding too much more for like as well as swing positions until we come down a little bit more and maybe we test out some type of support or another breakout. So small nibble still for me here. I'm not too like some of my positions are down like 10% or something like that. Some are down a few percent, but I'm fine with holding for a little bit longer because I scaled out, which is one of the reasons why. Okay, but right here, this is something I wanted you guys to check out for today. Now that we're looking at this, now that the weekly candle has closed here, now we have this ascending triangle. Not ascending triangle, excuse me, rising wedge. Another bearish indicator, of course. Well, not in any major danger at the moment. Is like I said before, we may actually have this week and next week be pretty bad for us if we do end up breaking down below some of these crucial trend lines here that we talked about right there. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. Two triangles to watch out for, but I'm still not too concerned about where the prices are. Bitcoin's volatile. All the altcoins are very volatile right now, but I'm not overly concerned about it. If that makes sense, I realize it. But still. Alrighty here. Let me go to the daily here, just so you guys can see that trend line here in case we actually do test it out today. There we are. Let me get this right here. So this is what we're looking at. So if we go to the 5-minute chart, you can see at the moment from this trend line, Bitcoin is about 646 bucks away from it, or about 1.15%, or 1.51% away from it. So we're fairly close to this trend line, and we'll see if we can get a bounce off of it or anything similar to that. Or if we do start breaking down below it towards the beginning of the day, that might lead to a worse day later on, right? So that might lead to a bad night for us. Here. And just for you guys just so you guys know what's going on here as well. We don't talk about it too much, but if we do go to the monthly chart, maybe we might find some support down here towards the 20-month moving average, somewhere around like 40,000, maybe $41,000. Hopefully that'd be a good level for us because we still have been able to hold it. Um, just hoping this isn't going to be a hump, right? A hump. Because we did have a head and shoulders here, even though this is like now a big double top. We did have a head and shoulders here. I'm hoping this isn't going to be like another shoulder on top of that. Now that we're actually starting to see the shape here, you can see it coming down a little bit more. And of course, I think it was 3 days ago we talked about it as well before we start going over to the Federal Reserve minutes and I answer some of you guys' questions. We did end up breaking down below that level of support here. What is it? Was this the one we were using? I think it was. Or was it this one right here? Well, we basically broke down below a level of support here, the lows. We made a new low as far as these candles, and that the shorts took advantage of it. That's why when I made the video, I think it was a few days ago now, I was explaining that the closer the 20-day moving average comes to us, the more likely you're going to see shorts try to take advantage of that movement and really drive us down. They've succeeded at it right now. I mean, of course, the longer red candle every single time we cross over moving average. Well, not every time. The majority of the time, we tend to have longer candles, and we have that longer candle right now. But something that I do not like right now, I'm still not selling off my swings here, but let's pull this back up for us. This little bit of a trend line here. If we break down on this trend line, there's a good chance we may break down below the 50-day moving average, pushing us all the way down towards about $40,000 or maybe even $39,000. Let's call it around $40,000 for now. So be aware that today is going to be one of those more picky days where we do want to see Bitcoin showing some strength and not some weakness. But from what I've seen, well, you guys just got to look at the charts. There seems to be a lot of major selves coming on, especially even though if you guys noticed a few days ago, Ethereum actually broke out above its 200 daily moving average only to fall right back down, unfortunately. So that 200 didn't even mean anything for Ethereum. Bitcoin is still controlling the show here. We broke down below the 20 here. We're still pretty far away from the 50, but if you guys look right, I mean, this is going to be a little bit more of a wonky one. There was the breakdown that happened, but I mean, it happened on the new day. It's going to be hard to, get that one down. All right. For now, yeah, let's go here. What do I want to do on this one? Yeah. apply these indicators to the entire layout. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Okay. We'll put the Bitcoin 1 minute on so we can kind of see this little pattern playing out here. We also have a Fibonacci level right around here at the same time at the moment, a short-term Fibonacci from just the ascending triangle that we've been playing around with. And nothing else then. The Ganfan levels tried to hold. Fibonacci tried to hold. We just came down, down, down. Shorts took a full advantage of that one. But okay. Let me see. Hey, CoinPhased. Hey, Laurel Scratcher. Why cryptocurrency crashed today? A big part of it was the Federal Reserve minutes and how they're going to start reducing their balance sheet, which overall is a really good thing, but the markets are not going to like it at all going forward here. They're not being as aggressive as you might want them to be because they still care about what the market thinks, but they are going to try to start moving some stuff off the balance sheet, in particular bonds and mortgages. Bonds and mortgages is basically what I read out of that article, and we will read it together as well. And what's it here? They shorted 21 million. Apparently that was apparently that was enough. With a little bit of panic, of course. Panic always freaks everybody out. Remember, guys, we talked about this like 2 weeks ago, I think, when we were talking about what would happen, like a bad scenario. One of the bad scenarios if Bitcoin did break out, what might happen. One of them was we would hit a level of resistance, whether it be an old neckline from that head and shoulders that we saw, or the 200 moving average, or the 52-week 52,000 because it was the top of the shoulders from a while ago. And then we would have a hard move back down as shorts kind of took advantage of us, of the new traders kind of hopping back in. And you guys saw this a little bit. As soon as we broke out, I bought in here. I scaled out only like a certain percentage of it, like a small percentage of it. But a whole bunch of people popped in there. And then all of a sudden, after a few days of us not really doing too much stuff after the breakout, but a few days of exciting moves on altcoins, all the new traders that kind of hopped back in the market, if they didn't have stop losses, they got really burned. Because they probably sold off and just took a massive loss instead of just holding it for a little bit longer period of time. And I think that's partly what happened here. But yeah, you did see some longs getting liquidated today as well, especially with that shorting of the 20 million. What's it here? Hey, Martijan, happy to see you back from the Netherlands. Hope you're doing well over there. Hope everything is doing good with Europe and the Russia stuff. America's kind of lucky. We're a little bit further away, except for Alaska. What's right here? Hey, Red, thank you for your depth of knowledge and honesty. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. Let's see. What's right here? Thanks, Martin. I appreciate the hearts. Oh yeah, update on YouTube and my channel and trying to get them to respond to me. As far as I know today, so there's a channel out there. I think you guys know the channel. Let me find it for you guys. I think he's actually probably streaming still right now. Digital Asset News. He must not be streaming anymore. I didn't spell something right, but that's fine. Yeah, here it is. Here's his channel right here. Um, he's a good guy. His name's Rob. You guys have probably seen his content here. He talks more about kind of the overall news in the markets and what's going on. He's really intelligent. He kind of moves around between Texas and Puerto Rico. Nice guy. He retweeted my tweet for me, and even YouTube never even responded to me today. Didn't even respond. So if this guy that has 324,000 subscribers, and oh God knows how many Twitter followers, he would 124,000 followers. If he can't even get YouTube's attention to just tell me what happened, I don't know what the heck is going to work. So I'll figure it out down the road. Maybe I just have to wait the 30 days. It'll be a bummer for me. It'll be a bummer for you guys because I want you guys to have the badges and everything for the members. At least you guys aren't being charged during this period of time. But man, like even if a mega channel like this, which is awesome, like I mean, I was so happy the guy decided to help me out. Even with that big push, YouTube didn't even bother to respond today. So we'll see what happens going forward. I'm hoping YouTube is just they're trying to figure out what to do. They're not. I don't think they're trying to be do anything malice right here. I just maybe there's a glitch and they just don't know how to explain it or something like that. I'm gonna try to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I don't think I should at this point. But that's kind of the update as far as the YouTube channel. I do want to say thank you to Rob at Digital Asset News. It was nice to email and talk with him a little bit. But yeah, definitely an interesting time. And he actually put out another a video just a few minutes ago. I was watching one of his streams. He just put out a video talking about the Federal Reserve minutes, going a little bit more in depth than I am as well. So if you guys did want to check that out, you can check it out a little bit later after the stream is done. All right, so going over to the Federal Reserve minutes now. I'm just gonna read a New York Times article here and kind of give you guys some explanation of what's going on here. So before we get started, you know the Federal Reserve has been buying up a lot of bonds, a lot of housing mortgages in order to help boost up the market, basically. Well, now part of the reason we're in such high inflation is because of some of these moves that they've been making. And so now to help out that situation and kind of try to fight inflation, they are going to be selling off a good portion of their balance sheet every week, in the tens of billions of dollars every week. It's not really as much as you would want them to be doing, but it's still better than nothing. So they understand there is a problem there. It took them all the way until April to really figure this out, but they're working on it. So as slow as this bureaucracy is going, they're at least going in the right direction. They're really timid about how they're doing this, but we'll talk about that more here in the article. Now, this is from the New York Times. It's written by a woman named Gianna Smielek. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. So here's what it says. Minutes from Federal Reserve's March meeting showed that central bankers were preparing to shrink their portfolio of bond holdings immediately while raising interest rates expeditiously, as the central bank tries to cool off the economy and rapid inflation. All right, main point here, deal with inflation, but in order to do that, you have to cool off the economy. Central bankers raised interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point in March, the first increase since 2018, and the minutes showed that many officials would have preferred an even bigger rate move and were held back only by uncertainty tied to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I wonder how much inflation would be going up right now if Russia never invaded, but we'll never know. We will just never know that. The people will say they know, but we'll never know. Markets now expect the Fed to make half-point increases in May and possibly June, even as they begin to withdraw additional support from the economy by shrinking their balance sheet. The balance sheet stands at nearly $9 trillion. Swollen by pandemic response policies and Fed officials' plans to shrink it by allowing some of their government-backed bond holdings to expire starting as soon as May. That will help to further push the interest rates, potentially leading to slower growth, more muted hiring, and weaker wage increases. Wage increases are good for people that are making the increases, but at the same time, we have seen the corporations passing those costs over to the consumer, and the consumer happily willing to pay for them until we kind of had this inflation bubble kind of pop on us. Right? Remember, McDonald's used to have a dollar menu. Remember, there used to be something called a dollar menu. Right? That's kind of the stuff that happens. Everybody gets more rates. The cost will get passed down to the consumer. The consumer will continue to pay for it. Like I still see long lines at McDonald's. Now, that will help further push up interest rates, potentially leading to slower growth, more muted hiring, and weaker wage increases. Eventually, the theory goes the chain reaction should help slow inflation. They're very resolute in fighting inflation and moving it lower, said Kathy. They are concerned. They're concerned, but they've been forced to be concerned after saying it was transitory for so long. While central bankers were hesitant to react to rapid inflation last year, hoping it would prove transitory and fade quickly, those expectations have been dashed. Price increases remain rapid, and officials are watching warily for signs that they might turn more permanent. All participants underscore the need to remain attentive to the risk of further upward pressure on inflation and longer-run inflation expectations, the minute showed. Now officials are trying to cool off the economy as it's growing quickly and the jobs market is rapidly improving. Employees added 431,000 jobs in March, wages are climbing swiftly, and the unemployment rate is just about matching the 50-year low that prevailed before the pandemic. Central banks are hoping that the strong job market will help them slow the economy without tipping it into an outright recession. Okay, now it says that's going to be a challenge, and that's why I'll kind of stop reading this here. But that's why everybody's a little bit more concerned because now, like, it's not happening now. It's most likely going to start happening in May. But when they start implementing these types of policies, you will see over maybe, let's say, Q2 earnings start to. You're going to start seeing guidance say, hey, we might not be making as much money because people aren't going to be able to have as much money and so forth here. Now, there's two ways to look at this. I understand what the Federal Reserve is trying to do here. It's not like they're just idiots, right? They are pretty smart people. I hear the ice cream man. I haven't heard the ice cream man all year. It's summer or it's spring now. So what they're trying to do is slow down the market so all these bottlenecks and all this demand for products will kind of slow just a little bit, so that way everything can kind of fix itself back up. There's not so much strain. There's not so many problems hiring, and we can slow things down, and we'll see how that works out. All right, that's what they're trying to do. One of the problems here is if they start slowing stuff down, which they will, when people start losing their jobs, is the strong job market going to be able to just like say, hey, we're sorry, man, we don't have any more warehouse work. The demand is slowing. We just don't have as much stuff being taken off the ships, right? If that's the case, when that guy gets laid off, he has one of two things he can do. He can go on unemployment and not find a job. That might be better for the economy, quite frankly, and probably not better for the state's budgets. Maybe forget what I just said there. Or he might be able to go find another job because the job market is still strong, right? That's probably the best thing for the economy. But think about it. Everybody just had a whole bunch of 12-month, whatever free COVID things. I would suspect a lot of people want to go back to having those nice benefits, if you ask me. But what they're trying to do is that basically they're trying to say, hey, we're going to slow down the economy. Some people will lose their jobs. That's acceptable. But afterwards, will that person go find another job because there's so many job openings right now? Or will they have trouble finding a job, or will they have to go on, the unemployment benefits? They're taking a gamble here. It's a gamble worth taking, if you ask me. I almost wish they were just being more aggressive with it, because right now the economy is so strong. If you were to do it a little bit faster, the jobs would probably still be there before you start seeing more scarring on the economy, if you will. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. And Laura's question, any update on YouTube? Oh yeah, I just gave you guys the update. YouTube didn't even respond to me. Okay, even though YouTube is not responding to me, I still feel like they're doing something in the background. I mean, I think they have to be, and we'll look at more later, right? Because again, I had a guy that I call him an acquaintance, the guy of Digital Asset News. He posted for me. Another creator getting shut down with no warning. Even if this guy can't even get YouTube just to acknowledge me, like YouTube hasn't even responded, right? I'm just gonna assume they're ignoring me for now, and they're trying to figure out what went wrong, and maybe they're gonna realize something did go wrong here, because normally, as far as I understand with YouTube, when YouTube has a problem with you, they will give you a strike, a channel strike. And if you have 3 channel strikes, your channel will get taken down, right? Well, I didn't even have 1 channel strike, so I thought they gave you some type of warning system. They didn't even give me a warning system, and that was the thing that really caused me some irk, right? So if we go over here to my channel monetization, you'll see, I don't even know if you guys can see that. There we go. So my appeal was denied because my video was over 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes and 28 seconds. And then you see right here, I need 1,000 subscribers. I have that. 4,000 watch hours. I have that. And you see this community strike thing behind my face? I have 0 community strikes, which means I broke 0 rules, and yet they took away my monetization. And from what I've been hearing from my friends that kind of are, they know larger YouTubers in general. Remember, I'm still a small fry, even at the 58,000 subscribers. What I've come to understand is that cryptocurrency channels seem to be getting more scrutinized by YouTube a little bit more than others. Maybe because they're just afraid of, bad information or just something of that nature, like, right? I would say I don't think I give you guys bad information. And I think I do you guys some good by telling you guys about all the scam channels on YouTube and like how to report them right. Um, so you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. Worst case scenario, I think that might happen is I just have to wait the 30 days and then reapply. It's just a big pain in the butt because um, at the end of the day, they still haven't told me what my channel or what I personally did wrong. And so I have no idea what I need to be correcting going forward. So if I don't know what to correct, when I reapply for the partnership program at the end of the month, or in 30 days or so, will I have fixed whatever they want me to fix because they didn't tell me what they wanted me to fix? It's that little paradox thing I'm kind of stuck in right now. But I'm gonna take some faith and say, hey, maybe they're just working on it in the background. They don't want to cause a Twitter storm type thing by just barking back at me or something like that. Um, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens here going forward on YouTube. But even if for whatever reason they got mad enough to ban my channel or something like that, I would make another channel just with the same name. It wouldn't make money until I got 1,000 subscribers and back to like a 4,000 watch hours. But it is what it is at this point, and I'm hoping they'll just fix the mistake and I can just move past this. Because as soon as they fix the mistake, I won't even talk about YouTube anymore as far as being bad or making the mistakes or anything. I'll just move right on from it. But until then, you know, uh, the fact that they keep on trying to ignore me and just make me go somewhere else, it's the links that have nothing to do with the situation. That's what irks me off because they say, "Hey, check out this link. Check out our guidelines," and I'm like, "I checked out your guidelines, but they don't actually help me in this situation." And then when I tell them that, they're like, "Well, check out this other link," and I'm like, "You know what I'm saying?" Let's see. Hey, Right Bread Rob. Oh yeah, Digital Asset News. Yeah, yep. I gotta find out his last name, but it's just always Rob. It's always Rob. Even when you do his emails, it's just little dash Rob. Nothing fancy, just dash Rob. He's a really chill guy. Let's see. Hongfoot, how much you invest? It depends on like what you're talking about. So as far as long term investments, I have like 3 Bitcoin right now, 4 Ethereum. I want more Ethereum, but I'm not really loading up on any more Bitcoin here. Mostly what I've been buying over the past few weeks has been metaverse coins that I deem to be a little bit lower market cap. And then on top of that, I've been doing some swing trades on things that I really have been liking, like what do we trade? Like FTM, STMX was fine, DOT was fine, it was okay. Ethereum Classic was a fun ride, but I did more of day trading on that one. And those, you like trade $1,000 at 10x leverage, $1,000 at 5x leverage. It can give you some pretty good returns if you just do a couple trades. That's usually what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm tossing money into the options markets, but I didn't trade any options today. The market was actually pretty boring. So if you look just kind of did nothing for a while, and then when it finally did start going crazy, I was at the dog park. So I wasn't even bothered trading. Because usually, if the morning's not good and the middle of the day is not good for me, I'm like, am I really just going to sit in front of my computer the entire time not doing nothing? No, I'm going to go outside and enjoy my day. But that's kind of something like as long as you're making a certain amount of money every month, it doesn't matter which days you make it up. Let's see. And hey, Jim Bob, they can't rule you out like they did. That's bull. Yeah, I mean, guys, it's not a good circumstance at all. I understand that. I'm madder than I appear. Trust me. But at the end of the day, nothing's gonna come from bashing YouTube even more on my streams. I'm just hoping they can fix the mistake and I can just get on with the channel. Because what do you call? Because now that they can do that and they don't even tell me what I did wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take down the channel one day just out of nowhere and be like, "You broke a policy." But then when I ask about what policy, now I know they're not even going to answer me. They're just going to make something up, and that's what's concerning to me. But again, if for whatever reason you guys come back to my channel one day and it just says channel down or channel has been removed or something like that, I'll just make another one and I'll just start talking about cryptocurrencies again. I don't think it'll come down to that. I think the worst case scenario is I just have to wait the 30 days. But even so, it is a reminder for all of you guys that support not just me but other crypto YouTubers. YouTube is not a fan of crypto YouTubers out there too much. They're okay with the larger whales and such, but I think the more, I don't know, the more people that talk about technical analysis, where there's more of a chance that you guys will make money or lose money, I think they're a little bit more against those ones specifically than the ones that kind of just go over news or just the basics of what's going on in the market. They don't do too much of a deep dive in there, and I think that's kind of where they're coming from. Now, that's not part of any of their policies that they talk about, but it is something that me and a lot of my friends that kind of I talk with on Discord. I had a conversation with like 10 of them last night actually. One of the policies that we've kind of been seeing is crypto channels kind of, they have a different set of rules for crypto channels versus the other type of channels, just because crypto is so new and they're still not really aware of how to moderate it, so to speak. So sometimes the algorithms can make some glitches out of it. And at least I think it was a glitch. They still haven't told me what I did wrong. So until they tell me what I did wrong, I'm just going to assume it was a glitch, and they're trying their hardest to fix it. Let's see. Did I run through the technicals on my list yet? Not yet. We're going to be doing that in a few minutes here while I go through all the majority of the coins. Most stuff just took a nasty drop today, so they're pretty far away from a lot of support levels, but we'll go through that in a second. Let's see. And Halo Scripture, chat support doesn't help. Chat support doesn't help. They're not American. They don't speak English. They're really bad at their jobs. Chat support on YouTube is atrocious. They're very nice, but they have all automated answers, and they're pre-typed. And if you ask them any questions, they say, "I can't help you. I can't give you the information. I can't tell you what you did wrong. I just can't." And they said it's our policy that we can't tell you what you did wrong. And so that's their policy, that they can't tell me what happened. So that's why I'm trying to go this other way, saying, well, let me try Twitter, because maybe, if it's on Twitter, it's a kind of more, it's more public, so they can't just try to hide behind it. What they're doing now to hide behind it is just to ignore me. I'm hoping they're just ignoring me because they're trying to fix it, and instead of just like going back and forth with me, they're trying to work on it. I doubt it, but I'm hoping. Let's see. And hey, Patrick, let it go D. Oh, try to go down here. We'll see how that works out there now. Okay, but let's move over here very fast. So for a basic technical standpoint, Bitcoin is right here at support. We may have a little bit of a bounce here. That's what we're going to be hoping for, because if we do end up breaking down below this trend line, you'll most likely see Bitcoin fall down below the 50-day moving average as well, heading back down to possibly around $40,000, seeing altcoins take a pretty nasty dip as well on top of that, if we were to break down below this level here. Shorts already took us down once. It would not be inconceivable for them to try to bring us down one more day here, or even if we take us a day to consolidate today. Ethereum, let's kind of remove all these drawings right now. Do we want to? What's the best way to do this? No, it should be fine. We'll take away this breakdown right here. This was a decent breakdown, but I mean, it's so closed above it. It just happened the next day. It ended up breaking back down. Ethereum, it did hold the 200 daily moving average for a little bit, like 1 day, 2 day. Then we still came back down. Bitcoin controlled Ethereum all the way. What I'm looking at as far as Ethereum is concerned, though, is mostly this trend line right here. It seems like everything is just going into a rising wedge at the moment. This one's not even as much of a wedge as, I mean, it is a wedge, but it's not as much of a wedge as Bitcoin. So you have this rising wedge. So I have trouble with my R's ever since I was a kid. I have these rising wedges right here. More of a bearish, more of a bearish pattern here. But if you did want to look to buy into Ethereum, and I mean, this is going to be hard for support if you're not going to be looking at the Fibonacci levels right around here at $2,800 or so. The next big level you guys can really be buying at is like right over here around $3,000. Maybe 2,900, but I don't know if we're just gonna go straight crash down here. The 50-day moving average is way further down at the moment. But Ethereum rising wedge, keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens here if it does come back down towards $3,000. By then, you might be looking at some more issues for crypto as a whole, kind of looking to break down. Dogecoin back down to support. I don't know if you guys had the stop losses around the 16-cent level or the 15-cent level. Either way, most of you guys had probably sold some of your Dogecoin off that you guys had, so you guys took some profit there. I think Ghost took some profit. Let me go over to the 15-minute chart here just to show you more about Dogecoin because I know we like Dogecoin a lot. Right here, and we kind of just broke down from this neckline right here. Broke down from it. It wasn't even that reliable of a neckline. Just broke down from it and just never looked back on top of it. Now we do have this trend line here. We're going to hope to stay on top of it. If you guys are looking to buy Dogecoin for whatever reason, now might be a good time to play a little bit more of a bounce. We did have that death cross here on the 15 moving average with the 20 coming down to 50. And after that, we saw a little bit of a pump, but ultimately we did come down afterwards. So next time, just be aware of that 20 and 50 moving averages on the 15-minute chart. Matic. Oh, but yeah, as far as Dogecoin's going, so right now, hopefully we can hold and try to make another move back up here. This might go against Bitcoin again, but it'll be interesting to see what can happen here, especially if Dogecoin's able to do maybe something more of a cup and handle or just the simple breakout. Go back over to the daily charts now. So if you actually see Matic here, this isn't accurate. Something weird happened. There you go. We pretty much ran into some resistance, which was the old trend line up here, and on top of that, the 200 daily moving average after the death cross here. So had a golden cross. Not much happened after that for Matic. Coming back down here, unfortunately, we might have support right around here at $1.40, a little bit less than where it is at now. But I'd be careful about Matic for now. We do want to see if we can still hold this support around $1.30. ADA came back down here below the 20-day moving average or so. Next level of support for this one really is around $1.01. So, I mean, like a few percent down. Nothing too crazy as far as ADA is concerned. Hopefully that can have a stronger move. But, again, hit that resistance from way back over here in February. Wasn't able to break it back up above it. XRP broke down. I mean, yeah, I guess it broke down a few days ago. Then it finally tanked just yesterday, of course. Broke down below the 50. This one may be looking more at a death cross here, actually, over the next few days or about a week or so. We'll keep an eye out on XRP. This one might be interesting here. Luna, still doing fine. It had a nasty dip, but it's still above the breakout price. So if you guys did buy the breakout, you guys are still in the money here. My big thing here is this one's a little bit different as far as Luna is concerned. Normally, when we cross above and below moving averages, like on Bitcoin, we tend to have larger candles. Luna can be a little bit different sometimes. It can be a little bit more medium candles. I don't know if you guys can see these here. Something I just noted a while ago. Like smaller candles, medium, sure, smaller. I guess that one was above it, but yeah. So it is pretty interesting here. So it kind of gives me hope that even if the 20 does come up here today or tomorrow, we might not ultimately crash down to like $99 or so. But if you guys wanted to have a stop loss for Luna, it might be around that, but at 105, 104 level, just to be safe there. And then on top of that, because if we really do start falling down here, what you will see is actually a death cross between the 20 and the 50-day moving averages, leading to us coming back down towards $75 for Luna, which would be about like a 25% loss at that point. A little bit higher than that, actually, because we are at $108. Uh, she did fine. It tried to find support. It wasn't able to. It broke down. Had a golden cross. I don't know how much that help that's going to do because last golden cross didn't do didn't really do anything for us there. If Sheep does have a surge back up, I'm assuming that the 20-day moving average may be a decent level of resistance for us. Like resistance up here as well. That may be actually something to be aware of here pretty soon. So maybe if I buy some, that 20 will be my price target. EOS still majority like same hard drop. Came back down below most of its levels of support. Next level of support happens to be around $2.30. Ethereum Classic, same thing happened. Had a golden cross too, didn't do nothing. Yeah, Bitcoin controls the market, doesn't it? But as far as Ethereum Classic's concerned, I still hold a little bit of it. I'm not really selling it anytime soon, but the next level of support happens to be right here where it tapped at about $37.58. We'll see if that can hold, because if it does, we could have a really strong day for Ethereum Classic, booming back up to like maybe $43, $44 before ultimately falling back down over the next few days if Bitcoin does break down below its own trend line here. Dot never broke out, hit resistance, and then it just came back down. So there was never too much of a reason to buy Dot unless you were buying it off of this breakout way back here before the golden cross took it off a little bit more. STMX broke down. This is an old breakdown level though. What is the? This is something old. There we go. Broke out, hit resistance from our previous trend line, didn't do too well. It actually made me a good amount of money, but that's because I scaled at certain levels, right? Like I sold the majority of mine this day, and then we made it a little bit higher. I sold a little bit more, and then I had a little bit left, and then I'm still holding it. Maybe can have a golden cross here sooner than later, but right now it seems like we're trying to just stay above the 20-day moving average, and we're doing an okay job at the moment. Engine. Oh, we broke down below two moving averages here. This one's a little bit interesting. Engine support would probably be all the way back down here, yeah, towards $1.33. So be careful of this one. This one has a little more room to run down. FTM broke out, didn't do anything, broke down below the moving averages. Wow, look at that. That was a false breakout, if anything, yeah. All right, well, let me get rid of this one then. We don't need that anymore. Hopefully, we can see some type of breakout happen over the next few weeks on this one. But overall, just moving back down here towards 115. ICP broke out, rejected as well. Man, yeah, there was a lot of false breakouts caused by this Bitcoin dump crash, whatever you guys want to call it. Link coming back down towards old level of support, probably around here at about $14.72. Litecoin broke out as well, didn't really do much on top of that. Had the golden cross, and Bitcoin still slammed it back down. Mana. Now this is old for that breakout. Uh, and it just broke down today as far as that one's concerned. So hopefully I can find some support right around here at about $2.24, guys. Elon coin broke down as well, holding the 20-day moving average. I don't know if it's going to bounce off of that one. This one might be heading down a little bit more towards 841. Sol, anything there? 20-day moving average bounce. It did manage to break out and it still got rejected. XLM, nasty move down at the 50. And that's about it right now, yeah. So overall, you are seeing a lot of breakdowns of the altcoin market, a lot of moves below those moving averages, just like Bitcoin did. So if you guys are in those altcoins, you'll notice that they still have a little more downward movement that they can do, especially if Bitcoin does end up breaking down below this white trend line right here. I mean, the first time we usually bounce, the second time we usually break down. So just like how it came to be with our GANFAN levels, we came down to the Fibonacci, the trend line, the GANFAN 1 and GANFAN 2. We bounced off of all of that, especially this GANFAN level right up here. Ultimately, on the second time, that's when we're really testing it out. That's when we ultimately fell down here. So you might have the same type of effect happening right around here, around this around this trend line right there. Okay, put that back up here. Put back that 1 minute chart so we can see if we're actually close or not. Because right now Bitcoin's having a decent little rally here on the 1 minute chart. Let's see. Hey Ryan, start a Patreon? No, I don't need a Patreon right now. I just want the people that have the memberships to be able to see the badges and stuff like that. I hate that they took away the memberships all of a sudden because of it. That way, like, everybody that kind of supports the channel, they get a little badge. And when you have a badge, I tend to answer your questions faster than anybody else. So right now I'm just going off of the names because I remember a lot of my members. But still, maybe a member that hasn't been here for like a month or 2 months, something like that, and I know we don't talk too often, maybe all of a sudden he comes in and I don't answer his question because I don't see his badge, right? It's those type of things that I'm worried about. Let's see. Hey, Ken, can I do a Twitch? I mean, I think I could probably stream on Twitch, but I don't like Twitch that much as a company. I think it's just a rough time to get viewers and things over there. For now, I think I'm gonna be fine just doing YouTube with no money, making no money off of it. I make money while trading, right? But down the road, I'll figure out a way to make more money off the channel, something like that. Maybe I'll do an ad or something like that. A brand deal is what they're called. But for now, I'm not too concerned about the revenue aspect of it. I mean, it's annoying, right? I can cover all the costs for months if I really wanted to. But it's more of an irritation thing, and it's something that I need to make sure that I understand going forward. That YouTube can be very arbitrary when it actually levels out what it deems to be like punishments and stuff like that, because they don't give you any warning. There's no strikes, no nothing. They just say, "Hey, your channel can't be monetized anymore." So maybe I'll try Twitch one day, but I think next year or so, or not next year, but later on in the year, or whenever I move to Belize, I think I'm going to find a way to stream to Facebook, stream to YouTube, stream to TikTok, and stream somewhere else all at the same time, and seeing how that might be working out. Just in case if one ever got shut down, I'd still have all the other ones until I got the other channel back up. And hey, Wonder Space, Fed would begin reducing the central bank balance sheet by 95 billion a month. What does that mean, Mike? So if you take a look at the balance sheet, it's how they helped prop up the economy during COVID in 2000 in the 2008 recession, right? So I have a link up here, I believe, total assets of the Federal Reserve. So this is what they have on the balance sheet. On the balance sheet right now, you can see this if I kind of zoom in here for you guys. There you go. Total assets. I kind of have shrunk it down, so it's not the full time frame, but it's a decent one. So we see back over here, back when the Federal Reserve wasn't so willy nilly and crazy, back in 2017, the balance sheet was like $870 million, basically, right? And then once 2008 hit, then all of a sudden we had some issues, and it kind of moved up to 2 trillion because we were bailing out the federal banks. We were bailing out all the mortgage guys, all the insurance companies, AIG, all of it. We were just pouring money into that system. They needed help, and the Federal Reserve responded appropriately. Now they did take us from again 890 million to like 2 billion, but I think it was worth it when you think about it. But then what happened after that is the Federal Reserve, because of all the backlash, kind of started going down a more political route. And I'm not talking about like the nasty politics of DC type stuff. They went from keeping the markets kind of safe and just keeping everything kind of okay as best they could to trying to help out those at the lowest parts of the poor people, lower class people, whatever you want to call them, whatever I was when I was a kid, poor, dirt poor. And then you started to see them actually start buying more to help out the economy a little bit more. That way, of course, if everything kind of trickles down, right, everybody will be kind of happy because of that. More money in the economy means more money going to those communities to help them out and so forth, right? And so you saw it come down from like 2 billion, kind of coming up a little bit more, 2.3 billion, not a lot as well. And then we saw 2010 happen. 2010, towards the end of the year, things started getting ramped up a little bit. If you guys remember 2010, it was when Republicans took back the House. Everybody was still pretty mad. We had Obamacare going on. There was a whole bunch of people really mad about everything going on in Washington, D.C. I think there was like Occupy Wall Street going on. Again, the Federal Reserve wanted to try to cool down things. I think it is kind of more of a political thing going forward. They're trying to help out whatever president's in charge. Now that can be for Republicans and Democrats. It swings both ways. Before any of you guys start saying it's only Democrat or only Republican thing, we started seeing them do more money. They started buying more and more and more to help out the markets. And then what do you know? About 3 billion, 2.8 billion up here. It started to going down in 2012 just a little bit before ultimately 2013 hit, and we went from 3 billion on the balance sheet all the way up to 4.5 billion. All right. And so we got 2014, last couple of years of Obama's administration. Things started to show improvement. Things really started to look a little bit better. Things were stabilizing. It took a long time. And I think right about here is where you really started to see the Great Recession kind of like really come to an end. There were still scars on the economy, like a whole bunch of manufacturing jobs had left, a whole bunch of jobs where people work with their hands and so forth besides manufacturing. They all kind of left too. To go over to China, Mexico, globalization, jobs moving all over the place. It's good and bad at the same time, right? So after that, we didn't really need much. They didn't sell it though. They didn't sell it. They just kept it going. And then Trump got elected, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then towards 2018, we started seeing those crazy numbers coming from the Trump administration as far as earnings and lowering the tax rates. And on top of that, we saw, what else was there? Unemployment was at like a crazy low, and this is without all the federal stimulus and all that other stuff. This wasn't like coming out of COVID or anything like that. This was just good low like the policy was good, so everything was kind of working for us. And that's good, right? Good policy equals good economy. And then they felt so confident they started to lower it down. So from 2018, it went all the way down from 4.5 billion down to 3.7 billion, and then unfortunately COVID hit, as we all know. And then let me kind of shrink this down a little bit more. When COVID hit, we went from about 4 billion back up here again, all the way back up here to 7 billion. And so what the Federal Reserve is trying to do right now, and like right now, what are we at? Like 7 billion? I think it's actually a little bit more than that right now. I think it's like a 9 billion or something. What they're going to do right now is they're going to start selling off bonds and they're going to start selling off mortgages. That way, they can kind of lower the price for us and therefore slow the economy down. Their main goal, to be frank, is just to slow down the economy. They do not want you buying as much stuff, which goes against the what capitalism says: buy what you want if you can afford it. They're trying to slow all that down because the fact is, they can't really affect the supply too much right now, but they can try to affect the demand by making everything a little bit more expensive, and it'll probably work. It'll have bad side effects like potentially a recession, right? But they're going to try everything they can to stop a recession from happening. The it's up to you guys to determine whether you think there might be a recession or not. The market hasn't priced in a recession just yet because most likely it would probably happen towards Q4 of this year or towards the first 2 quarters of next year if it really was going to be a recession. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Michael. Thank you so much for still doing videos and streaming live. I hope your channel gets fixed soon. Yeah, so do I. And remember, guys, for me, it's not about the money. Remember, this channel only made $1,000 last month. It's not like my full time income here. I do this mostly because I like to help you guys out. It's more that when I do YouTube, that income just kind of goes to random stuff that I like buying Trading View, paying for Finviz maybe in the future, um, the cameras, the lights, all that good stuff. Again, it's going to be a pain to deal with it, but I'm hoping everything gets fixed up here pretty soon as well. But thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it. And I'm hoping to get you back your badge. And hey, Far From Broke, you should stream on Rumble. Uh, See, if there was more people on it, I would. I'd be trying to stream on all the platforms. I think one day I'm actually going to be able to do multi-streaming, and I'm hoping that Web3 has a way to do multi-streaming too once technology gets up to that level. I'd be really happy to see being able to stream at so many places at one point, and then having some type of monitor, maybe like a third or fourth monitor, dedicated to just chats, and seeing how that kind of works out. Let's see. And hey, Fitz, I heard there's nothing federal about it. It's the federal balance sheet, so it's what the Federal Reserve has been buying up. Remember how during COVID we talked about how the Federal Reserve was buying up $200 billion worth of securities every single month, 200 billion, right? This is what led to some of those issues there because they have to start tightening it down here a little bit more. They started off at 200 billion, it drastically went down as stuff kind of stopped going into free fall. But for a while there, they were pumping in about $200 billion a month into the economy. That is absolutely insane. Let's see. And hey, Jordan. Oh wow, the Dogecoin guy has evolved. I guess I was a Dogecoin guy. What right? Then there was also who's the other Dogecoin guy? Matt Wallace and Living with Lucy. Living with Lucy comes on the channel every now and again in the comment section, and she's talked to a few of you guys a few times. Um, but I haven't seen anything more from Matt Wallace in a while. Every time I see his tweet on Twitter, he's always getting bashed for being a scammer now, and that's why you got to be very careful about how you do the pump coins and stuff like that. Or you tell everybody to buy a coin that you've already bought, right? You got to be careful about that type of stuff because if the coin drops or people don't make money, they're going to think you're a scammer. And I don't know if he was doing pump and dumps or not. I have no proof either way, right? But it seems like he now has that persona as somebody who does pump and dump schemes, which is not good for the brand, right? But again, he still makes good money off of YouTube. Still makes good money. Remember, what it was, Social Blade, uh, Final Stand. He's still well, okay. Maybe he's not making so much money now, but he's probably making about anywhere from $121 to $2,000 a month. And I would say with all of his fees and exchanges and all that type of stuff that he has, the exchanges like pay him to do videos and stuff like that. Um, he might be making around $2,000 to $3,000 a month, so more than me for sure. He's lost 2,000 subscribers over the last 30 days, though. I think that's because of what happened with his channel and how I'm guessing somebody has proof if he's losing that many subscribers. Um, but yeah, wow. That was interesting. Well, let me know if I'm ever pumping a random coin at you guys. Slap me in the face through the computer screen or something like that. Um, but again, we all need to make money. I mean, I make money in the market. That's why I'm not too concerned about this YouTube thing. I'm more irritated by it than anything. But I know that other YouTubers that don't trade as much, if YouTube was your full time gig, remember, imagine how much money he was making last year. Because I remember I was making pretty good money back last year as well. Um, imagine that going from like maybe he was making like $10,000 a month or something like that, going down to like $1,500, $3,000 a month. You do feel a need to keep on pumping up Dogecoin as much as you can, and that's just kind of the way the market works. But as you know, as a YouTuber myself, I just let you guys know like, hey, it's part of the world of YouTube. Do due diligence. Don't just buy because somebody tells you to. When I tell you guys about coins that I like, I specifically tell you guys in the comments section, just because I like this coin does not mean you should. Then I'll post a link to whatever place for you to get more details if you wanted to, right? Um, but I mean, I don't even make those videos too often. What's the last video I did for you guys as far as that's concerned? Um, yeah, no, next low market cap coin I'm buying, and this I told you guys I'm only going to pop in a few $100, so don't do anything more than that if you guys wanted to. But when I go over here and I look at the videos and I go to view on YouTube, hey everybody, um, I say make sure to read this before you buy. Just because I like it doesn't mean you need to invest in it. And you go right here, and it breaks down everything as far as Kyoko is concerned. So, um, careful about everybody kind of pumping up Dogecoin and stuff like that. Dogecoin has a history of pumping and dumping, which is why I said don't be afraid to take some profits, or have a stop loss there if you really wanted it to. But again, that's the history of Dogecoin so far, and I think if Bitcoin didn't have such a large move down here over the last 24, 48 hours, I think Dogecoin would have consolidated a little bit better than it had a breakout going in probably of last night or today. But now we'll never know because, again, Bitcoin just came down pretty hard here, and we're kind of stuck holding, you know, uh, waiting to see what happens next year and see if we can have a golden cross with the 20 and the 50 where we break out back above like $44,000, excuse me, and then try to make another run at the GAN levels. Because what's going on right now as far as Bitcoin's concerned is if you go back over here to the Coinbase chart, we know that right now the level we want to stay above, we talked about how the 50-week moving average has not been reliable. Look at that. Not reliable, not reliable, not reliable at all. But the 20-day moving average has always been a little bit more reliable than that. So wait, we tested it here. Test, resistance, test. Broke down, no test, but we did break down, and then came back down and showing a big nasty move. Way back over here, test, tested, then broke out, tested, then broke out, supported, then broke down, tested, then broke down, resistance all the way up there, right? It's excuse me, resistance, and it popped. We've seen that the 20-week moving average seems to be a little bit more reliable than the 50-week, right? Now, we're hoping that in the next 3 days and 24 hours, which is how long it takes for this candle until it closes down, pretty much Saturday, Sunday, right? The weekend. We're going to be hoping that in that time, if we look at the daily chart here, that we can find a way to kind of glide down. Let me see if we can pull this up here. Let's go to the weekly. Not going to show up here. Okay, that's fine. We're going to hope that we can curl back down here and get back above that 20-week moving average in the next like 3-4 days here, preferably. Uh, it's not working on this one. It was 200, yeah, on the weekly chart. Why isn't it doing its thing? Maybe it doesn't like it. Weekly. MA weekly 200. Yeah, huh. Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay, I messed that up. It's 20, not 200. There we go. So, okay, there we go. If I zoomed out more, would that work out for it? No. Okay, but you could imagine this line right here. I'm pretty sure right now, guys. Like, this line just, where we at? Somewhere around there. You can imagine that line right there. Let me make it red to kind of fit that line. You could hope that over the next few days we curl back down and we close back above it, and then we can be okay. And you can see it actually happened with last week's daily candle. We came down. We didn't close below it on the daily chart, but we came down and we managed to hold on to it. So that's kind of the bullish thing. If you're hoping for us to get a little bit more bullish this week, that's what you're really going to be looking at going forward. Hoping that we can still close above this 200 daily moving average here. Because if we're not, if we don't, we're most likely going to take another plunge down here, another like 3 to 4% as Bitcoin goes back down towards 40,000, maybe even $39,000 here. We don't want to see it, but that doesn't mean it can't happen, right? So that's kind of the gist of where we're at the moment. Not in a good spot, but we're hoping that we can have a bounce off of the support level here instead of having to deal with the 50-day moving average. There we go. And let me pump that off right there. So far, it's having a nice little rally here. Let's see. And hey, join Luke. Can't stand Matt Wallace 69 tomorrow. Yeah. Again, there are entertainers and then there's the more boring people. I'm working on making my channel and my videos a little bit better over time. When I'll start adding in the comment section, hey, what do you think I could do better here? So I can kind of fix it up a little bit, make it a little bit more snazzy. I think I need to get my voice fixed up again here, and then I should be fine. Um, we'll see how that goes, I guess. But yeah, I'm working on making my channel a bit better. I need to take some more time on some of my videos here, and I've just been kind of slammed with work and just Loki stuff over the last few days. Plus, I had some contractors in the house today, and that took forever. Working on some garage stuff, picking up some wall stuff, and cutting some old stuff out, putting some new stuff in, fixing some circuit breakers. So um, my computer was kind of on its own circuit breaker because it's on the same circuit breaker with my TV and somehow my closet, and so it's somehow it trips every now and again, and I was just annoyed with it. But my TV uses a bunch of power. That's pretty much the main point of it. And right there, Nightbot's back though, guys. If you haven't noticed, and what's it here? Upshot. What about Upshot? Is she here? Okay. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions about what the Federal Reserve is looking to do this week, about how it's going to affect the markets going forward, or any particular crypto coins, let's go after it, guys, today. I got plenty of time. I'm just chilling. I'm going to be streaming until 8 o'clock, then I have to go grocery shopping. I'm going to buy 2 whole ducks, um, and then I'm going to make a duck for me, my sister, and my mom tonight. And and then my mom's coming downstairs. We're gonna go look at houses on online in Belize, so I can tell her what I'm looking at. Um, I'm gonna make rice and stir fried vegetables, so it's gonna be a really exciting night, or just a really good chill family night. Then we're gonna hop on the big old flat screen TV, on the sofa, watch a movie. We haven't watched a movie in a while. I think we're gonna watch the second episode of that new Disney show, the one with the mummy. I don't know what it's called. Moon Knight, I think it's called. And then we're gonna watch something probably Pixar, just because Pixar looks amazing on OLED TVs. Like, did you guys know? It took me a while to realize that Nemo and his dad and all the fish have individual scales placed on their bodies, and you can see them in such detail. It's always magical to watch. I just don't like Ellen DeGeneres' voice for Dory, but I like Dory as the character. Ooh, there we go. Hey, listen, love Duck. Oh my God, Duck is amazing. It really is. Excuse me. Let me make sure YouTube didn't message me during this time. Nope. They really are ghosting me. Damn, they really don't want to talk to me. I must be annoying. Because I don't even normally like to use Twitter. I find Twitter to be a very toxic place where people just feel okay to say nasty things to each other, and they don't understand. Like, you would never say that to somebody else's face, right? But they still want to do it on Twitter for some reason. Not going to call them cowards or anything, but just it's a weird vibe that I get on Twitter, and I don't understand it. Mostly because I'm a every one of my ex girlfriends has told me that I don't understand signals, right? And so I don't understand kind of like the blunt things that people are telling me on Twitter and stuff like that with the jokes they make and stuff like that. So I just never get it. I'm a very dense individual, apparently. But yeah, stuff like that can drive me nuts. As far as the stock market today, guys, before I get back over to crypto, it was a rough day. The federal minutes did not help out at all. You saw a lot of money moving into different sectors. So if we actually go over here to groups, you'll see today money just flowed out of consumer cyclical, technology, communication, financials, and industries, and it kind of went more into utilities, healthcare, and consumer defensive. More shopping centers, healthcare, and utilities. There is, I believe, going to be another big bill passed by the Congress that will give a whole bunch more money for COVID relief, and all of that money will just be pumped into all those types of corporations there, whether they deserve them or not, right? Because I think there's like another what was that bill, like $10 billion? I'm not going to go into it, but $10 billion for the new bill, it's going to cost a lot. During a time where we have inflation, we really don't learn from our mistakes too much here. But look at this. Over the last month here, guys, we've just had a tear. We've had a good time coming back. We'll see what happens next, but we year to date, energy really is still the king here. Technology's down, everything's down. Utilities and basic materials may be something you guys want to look into going further, but that's most likely going to be because for basic materials, America needs to find a good supply of minerals to complete the batteries for all these electric cars that we're trying to make. We don't have those materials, I don't think, in the United States, or if we do, I don't think we have any permits to mine them, but I could be wrong on that front. We want to see this get a little bit better getting forward as far as us having all of the resources around here, or somewhere where there's a friendly country that's not Afghanistan, not China, to have to be the middleman for us on those types of resources. And hey, Michael, there was a little bit of repetitiveness in the federal minutes, but the big difference here is now they're kind of like, this is where our idea is. This is what we're really gonna do. And so they kind of went into a little bit more detail, basically, and that's kind of why everybody was trying to freak out. They were a little bit more happy with it back in the day. Like, okay, maybe they'll change it up, and because the war's going on, maybe they'll fix it, right? And in today's Federal Reserve minutes, they also talked about this. I don't know exactly where it was at, but they are going to start selling off different assets. Okay, that's good. It'll slowly start helping out the supply chain issues and inflation because they're going to try to lower demand in the marketplace. I knew what I was going to say before I said it. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. But they said it. They said that if the market is like starts to crash or starts to go down too hard, they may change their policy to help out the market a little bit. And so what I gathered from that is, although they want to help out with inflation, if the market throws a tissy fit, they're going to put a halt on some of that inflationary help to help out the market instead. Which I don't necessarily think is right. I would be okay with the market falling like a 30% from here. I would really be fine with that because it gives everyday investors a good opportunity to get some really good buying zones in for the long term. But, you know, I still think inflation is more important than where the S&P 500 or where the Dow Jones or where the Nasdaq is at. I think inflation is much more has much more of an impact on everyday Americans' lives than the stock market. I mean, I really do. Like, again, I grew up in a really poor neighborhood. I had no idea what a stock was until I was like in high school. Okay, us in the ghetto, when I lived down there, nobody had stocks. If the stock market's crashing and then we had high inflation, we're all going to be caring about inflation, right? As I got older and I got more into stocks and stuff like that, I still have money in stocks, but I've come to understand that I know how to trade stocks on a day or swing it, whether it's going up or down, and I have my long-term positions in case we do have some crazy volatility. But I still think the Federal Reserve should be focused 90% on inflation and just leave 10% to really worrying about the market. I don't care about the market. I really don't. I know the market will come back. It's roaring. America still has a strong economy. We'll be fine. But I think inflation should be the top priority. And I feel like every time they do that, they're just saying, we're going to come in with a hammer, but if things look really bad, we're going to turn it into a plush toy, right? To kind of smack inflation with. And that's why I start seeing some more concerns because inflation affects poorer individuals much more than wealthier individuals. Like I said, I feel inflation, but it's doing nothing to what it's not stopping me from doing anything that wouldn't already be doing in my daily life. I'm still going to the dog park every day, paying to fill up my gas tank. I'm still going up to Seattle. I'm buying this Sunday. I'm taking my mom and sister to a place in downtown Seattle for sushi, and it's a good place, a little expensive, but it's really good. But it's my mom's birthday, right? And I have no problem doing any of that type of stuff, knowing that if I was more lower middle class or middle class, I would I might double like I might second think or think about, do I really want to drive all the way up to Seattle, use all that gas, pay for sushi that's like 25% more expensive this year than it was just a few months ago? Do I really want to do that? And they might have a different thought process. So maybe they say, I want to go to a different sushi place that's not in Seattle. Maybe I'll go to Fujiya in downtown Tacoma or something like that instead of going to Umi Sake House, right? Two different standards of sushi there. Both really, really good sushi. One is definitely more of the elegant sushi that you all know and love. One is more of an elegant sushi. And it tastes really good, but the atmosphere is definitely not the same atmosphere. Like, let me see if I can find this for you. Just for some fun. Sushi. Fujiya Sushi in Tacoma. Nice sushi, good atmosphere. It's fine. Nothing crazy downtown. I like it. They're really nice. I usually sit at the same booth right there. Sushi's good. They got razor clam, everything you would ever want. They have some good sushi. But then when you put it next to Umi Sake House, I might have misspelled something. Yeah, I typed in on accident. You go to Umi Sake House in downtown Seattle, then you start to see, the difference in the quality, and you look at like, oh, look at that, right? And so inflation will start, it doesn't affect me much, but I know it's affecting a lot of other people, and those people are going to have to start making more choices. But luckily for everybody in Seattle, the whole city is pretty much tech, which means everybody in the tech industry still has a job right now, right? Nobody's getting laid off in tech, which means that hopefully when inflation or when Fed policy starts hitting everybody, it won't be the tech people getting laid off. It'll be more of the manufacturing people that actually create stuff, not like not create code. If you get what I'm saying. And it makes a big difference in what the local economy is able to handle, because that means if everybody's still eating out because they still have all their money, then a waitress won't have to get laid off, or dishwasher won't have to get laid off. Whatever it may have had to be, if sales were getting lower and people had to start thinking about how much money they can really be spending out and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm excited to take my mom here. She's gonna love it. This place is really good. They have a lychee cocktail, which is really good. But I'm pretty much just getting my mom a whole bunch of sampler stuff. Like, here, I'll show you what I'm getting very, very fast. Um, Dinner. So they have a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna get miso soup. That's gonna be normal. But they have raw bar. Yeah, no, that's not. Where's it at? Here. Omakase. We're gonna get a sashimi sashimi plate, and I'm gonna get the $80 one. So we're all gonna have a bunch of stuff we can share, and then we're also gonna get like a couple rolls, maybe one or two, and then we're gonna share our rolls together as well. And then whatever we don't eat, we're just gonna take home and finish it the next day. Next day sushi is a little weird, but it's still really good because it comes from this place here. But they got a lot of stuff. They even have some weird mochi ice cream sampler stuff. I'm not really a fan of this type of stuff, but some people are. So I know my mom is, my sister is. I'm just gonna get some vanilla ice cream. Classic right there. And they got some nice tea and everything like that. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun taking my mom there. Now that is going to be Sunday, so that means I will not be streaming Sunday night unless it's like after I get back or something. But even still, I'm probably just gonna hang out with my mom and my sister for that night. So even if Bitcoin is crashing down on flames, I might not show up to the stream unless like I've already said goodbye to my mom and stuff like that, and then I'm back home and I'm like, I still want to stream after a long day of driving up to Seattle, then driving back down from Seattle. Excuse me. Pop. Yeah, we can put on the second strap for now. Let's just do that. Where my friend Michael? Oh, my name is Michael. I'm not Matt. Washington. Yeah, Washington's a pretty chill place. Hey, Brits. I'm getting out of fiat. Every dollar I've been earning has been going to crypto and hard assets like gold, silver. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey, Prince. Yeah. I've noticed a lot of people moving their money out of banks. That. Well, no, a lot of people that are have been interested in the crypto space for a long time, a lot of them have been finding ways to put a majority of their money into cryptocurrencies and just holding them for the long term. Now, there's been a pretty good way of doing this that I found out, and that tends to be at the level of like a BlockFi, a Voyager, so forth, where you can open an account and you can put money in there and just have it earning interest for you. Now, there's two ways to do this, of course, if you're on Voyager, BlockFi, Gemini, whatever it may be, Coinbase for interest rates. You're either going to put your money, you're going to move your US dollar into USDT Tether or USDC coin, right? And it's going to still be equal to a dollar, but you're going to be able to make 9% annual interest off of it or 0.0075% every month back, right? So you're still making a little bit of money. You know there's inflation, but you're kind of making up for it with that 9% yearly interest rate that compounds every month. That's one way. Another way that's a little bit more risky, but I see a lot more people doing it more over the last few months here, is you've been seeing people that have more of a savings account approach. They have some money in the USTD, they're letting it earn interest. They have some money in their savings account just in case they really need it in a pickle without having to do all the transfers and stuff. But then they also have this thing where they're putting a lot of money into these altcoins that are very volatile, but they have good interest rates. And the big one on Voyager is DOT because they give you 12% interest rate on top of it. But they're okay with it going up, down, all around because they know, give it a year, give it a half a year, a couple of years, whatever it takes. Eventually, those altcoins will be much more than they are currently, right? And then it'll be so much better just to put that money in there that you don't need anytime soon because you already have money on the sideline for that. That money will make you a good amount of money in the future, and it will be make you much more money than what you would have had if you just left it in the bank and let inflation tear at it because inflation is really bad right now, right? And I thought the inflation numbers were going to come out a while ago. I guess the inflation numbers are going to be coming out next week, I believe. So we'll be looking at that when that happens. Maybe I'll even go live in the morning. But it's going to be a rough time here until inflation's under control. But again, the Federal Reserve hasn't even started any of this yet. So we haven't even started to see the effects of it yet. That's why the market's still pretty dovish. And you saw this nice little rally and return, all that good stuff. Even with a potential World War III going on right now, the market's still acting pretty fine. I mean, of course, we had a bad day today, but it's not like the market has been a complete free fall. We broke down a major technicals in the market, and we still managed to come our way back up because of all the buyers, all the hedge funds that want to make money. They think if something is undervalued, so they buy it up, and then nothing goes down. What was that? No, okay, that's fine. Trying to amass 10 Ethereum this year. That's a really good that's a really good goal. And maybe if Ethereum even comes back down, like let's say Bitcoin does end up crashing to that $25,000 level, Ethereum would be a great buying opportunity there, especially for you guys like to hold long term assets and something that's more stable than like a Dogecoin or a Sheeb or something like that. You guys can definitely be buying some Ethereum. Ethereum is really great, and they also do have platforms where you can be earning interest on those as well. Right here. Hey, Crypto Hash, what do you think about Portland and Medford? I have a big job opportunity there, but reside in Florida and dread moving there. Um, I don't know much about Medford, but Portland, Oregon is it's nice. There's a lot of cool things if you have money, but if you don't have money and the job's not paying you too well, you'll notice that Portland has a really bad homeless problem. Like a really like the last time I went to Portland, and I mean like this, I mean this seriously. Every single bridge in the entire city had homeless people living underneath it. Um, but if you have money, you might not even notice them really too much. If you're just kind of going home and so forth, you're not going to really come into contact with them. Um, But there are parts of Portland, just like Seattle, just like Tacoma, where there seems to be a massive growing population of homeless individuals. Some are just kind of on down times, and I usually try to help them out if I can with just a few bucks or something like that. And then other times you get the more mentally ill patients that because a lot of the mentally ill hospitals, I don't even want to call them, but they've been shut down. Um, so all the funding went away basically, and so a lot of those people are on the streets, and those are the ones that kind of cause problems every now and again. Portland is a very very lovely city, but it same as Seattle. But there has been an uptick in crime and homelessness populations there. Remember last year or a couple of years ago, Seattle had Chaz. I don't know if you guys remember Chaz. Chaz was a it was a life changing experience. I was just up there buying coffee beans, and all of a sudden there was a riot taking place as soon as I walk out the store. It's a pretty weird thing to be looking at, observing. And as far as Portland's concerned, I like it a lot. They have some cool food truck areas out there. They live. It's right next to a river, which is really cool. There's some hills out right outside the city, which is really nice. I like Portland a lot. I have a friend that lives down there. He actually moved over there from Philadelphia. Um, but yeah, Portland, it can be a little rough at time. Like here, hold on. What are you doing? Like images. Like it's kind of like that. No, this is a downtown street, so um, it, it can be rough at times. They're trying to build these little houses, but they're not building enough of them, and they somehow like one house costs like $500,000. So there's kind of like a little bit of corruption in these small housing projects, which really sucks because I think the idea is actually really good, but they give all this money to all their friends, and everything's overpriced, and so the money doesn't go as far as you might think it is because the majority of the money is just going to all their friends, right? The people that sent them to the office. But yeah, it can be pretty rough in Portland. Seattle's a little bit cleaner, um, but definitely. Look at this guy. This guy has a view of the water. I don't even have a view of the water anymore. I used to, but then I moved in to help my mom out. Or I guess I moved here, but my mom moved in with me so she could help out. But my mom's moving back out here, I think, in a couple months or so, because she's gonna move back to her house, and then I get this place to myself finally. Let's see. Hey Prince, if Ethereum goes down to 1.7 or 2K, I'm gonna go on town on that. You would not be the only one. There's gonna be a lot of people looking to buy. Like I have limit orders ready in case Bitcoin were to ever do some type of crash down to $25,000 or so. I am gonna load up at that level if we do. Now we've talked about the death cross here quite a bit. I don't feel like I need to go into it again, but if it does end up panning out, I mean, we would probably be going down towards the 200 weekly moving average, which by the time we would hit it would probably be anywhere from 23,000 to 27,000 to have a little more of a range for it. But it would be very interesting to see what would happen there. But before we even deal with that, we would have to be breaking down through all these levels and then breaking down below last summer's lows of 28,700 or so. That would be really the last straw there. We're not even close to that right now. So until then, I'm just kind of patiently waiting for Bitcoin to see if we can have a little bit more of a reversal and get back into looking into a very happy bull market, right? Because normally people use that 20 week moving average is like a bull market, bear market indicator, and that did not work at all this time. So some of the norms that we've kind of been watching, a lot of the norms are starting to get broken, and maybe it's because of the war, maybe it's because of cryptos getting a lot more attached to the regular markets, right? You guys have already heard me say this a few times now. I don't like how much the crypto markets are following the stock markets. I don't like it at all. There we go. And hey Neil, do I think we can fall even lower on Ethereum Classic? Yes. All crypto can fall a little bit more here. Now we're fairly close to support, right? Fairly close to a support level here. But if we do break down below this on the daily chart, we're most likely going to fall down below the 50-day moving average as well, which would lead to a move of about, well, first we'd either go down all the way to about another 3% loss for Bitcoin if we held the 50, but if we broke down, we'd be coming back down here to about like 40,400, which would be about like a 6% loss or 2,700 point loss for crypto over the next 3 days or so if we do break down from this level right here. All right, so gotta be careful with it. I'm still holding some of my positions, but I scaled out a little bit over here, but I'm not really too concerned. And if for whatever reason we did break down, um, since I scaled out on most of my positions there, or scaled out a good amount of them, I would be happy to kind of let it ride a little bit, even if it does come down a little bit more. I'll turn it into more of a maybe a longer term swing or something like that. But that's like again, that's me not honoring my stop losses, but I'm okay with that just because I feel like at the end of the day they're all going to go up anyway. Let's see what I can do later on with them. Maybe transfer them over to an exchange where I can earn interest on them. To be frank, but until then, we got to see if we can actually have a little more of a bullish day today or so forth, right? Because right now, look at the 5 minute chart. Well, let's go to 15 here. We're still getting pushed down here bit by bit. Got rejected by the 20-minute moving average here, but that's not. I mean, that's not too bad. And hey, Courtney, what is the time frame for the death cross? Thank you. So the death cross happened a few weeks ago, as far as the weekly moving averages are concerned. All right, so it already happened. The death cross happened. We popped out above it though. Then we're coming back down now. Unfortunately, one of the things I'm looking at here is as we look at the last few years, Courtney, each death cross we've been over it has seen the price go down to the 200 daily moving, 200 weekly moving average. In order to do this, I need to go to Coinbase. There we go. Each death cross has made us come back down to the 20 moving, or excuse me, the 200 daily, the 200 weekly moving average. Apologize for that. There, it took a while though for that one. This one, it just happened real fast. Now, this one was kind of interesting because look at it. We broke out above the 20 after the cross happened. We're getting knocked down afterwards, kind of like we're getting knocked down now. But then we consolidated for a little bit before ultimately making that plunge. So that might mean, this is just as an example here. Like, let's say Death Cross happened, and it took about, I don't know, 19 weeks. That's a long time. 19 weeks to crash. If that were to be the case here, and we took 19 weeks to crash, like let's hear one. By then, 19. The moving average, the 200 weekly moving average, just might be a little bit above $25,000 or so, or maybe even all the way up here to $26,000, which would mean we might not have such a bad move going forward. Where maybe we just have some type of support where we bounce off of something like that or something, some type of trend line or Ganfeng level that I don't have on the screen right now, and maybe we make a bounce off of that. Let me see if there's a Ganfeng level here, but the death cross has already happened. It's still, I mean, that's extremely bearish in my opinion, but the fact that Bitcoin did try to break out and did have some strength, that did start to change my mind a little bit. Um, Again, not every theory that I have is going to be correct. I want you guys to know that. Um, Chart layout. Is this the one? No. Oh, actually, let me check out the moving averages very fast. So the simple moving averages, nothing really big happened except for we broke down below the 20 here. If you guys actually look at the EMA, we're actually holding pretty nicely on the 50 EMA right now. That's where our support is. On the DEMA here, we actually broke down below the 200 and the 50 with no death cross here, which is actually pretty crazy. And then right here on the TEMA here, we just had a death cross today. Now, team is usually, it has golden crosses and death crosses all the time. It doesn't really mean as much here, but that is just saying, hey, there was a little bit of bearishness happening right here. Okay, which chart is it for this one? Unnamed. This is the new one I made. I haven't done anything with it yet. Unnamed again. Really? What happened to must just be over here. No. I might have deleted it by accident. I'm sure I did. Yeah, that's fine. 6. Yeah, I found, yeah. I'll have to make another one up here then, that's fine. This one has the Ganfan levels though, but not the ones I want. We only have the Ganfan levels from right over here from last summer's lows. I want the Ganfan levels that go from 2020 and 2018 here with the same levels coming down. So what I might actually do here very fast is delete this. I'll just do some 45 negative 45-degree angle ones. We don't need to do the 45-degree angle ones right now. 69,000. Let's go with that good old vertical line. The low right there. The low right there. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Take the magnet off. One right there. One right there. Negative 45. Negative 45. Don't move anything. And let's go to that GAN fan. Now I'm just eyeballing it here because I don't want to take too much time out of you guys this day on this stuff. Um, there we go. So now we got two GAN fan lines. Let me lock these bad boys in place here just for a second though, because I know something will mess up eventually. Maybe we just fall down to like $28,000 or so. Now these GAN fans are going to be a little bit off here. Let me take off the log here and see what happens. So if I take off the log and we look at this two GAN fan levels, look at this. Take log off, support, resistance, support, resistancy, resistancy. We're at support right now. So if you're going off the GAN fan levels, this is still a decent buying opportunity. Now, we don't have much history to tell us how good of a support level this was, but we can see kind of over here, it was decent for a while, even though we ultimately broke down. It was a resistance over here, but again, we would only be using these GAN fan levels after the $69,000 highs over here. But if we take the log off here, I mean, that seems pretty darn useful if you ask me. Um, Maybe we just come back down here to 32,000. Maybe we don't even go back down here. Because if we take this next plunge down, that would bring us back to $14,000 or so, and I don't see us going down that low. Oh yeah, what do you guys think about this? This is pretty interesting here. I normally don't take the log off here. I knew it was going to change up something here because it wasn't matching up. You can always just turn it off and see if it fits the profile right. Um, that is interesting. So I think right now we're kind of dealing with from this particular chart. We're looking at the GAN fan level right here as our support, and we're looking at basically the 200 daily moving average as our resistance. So if I move this over to the monthly chart, does that do anything for us? Let me just see right here. Kind of riding it up, or maybe this is just a gigantic trap and we're actually going to go booming up after this. Could be interesting here, especially since we bounce off the 20. Let me go to the weekly here. Yeah, maybe we just have to end up holding this out for the week. That might be interesting. See, actually, look at the weeklies. We held it, held. Now we spent days below this where we closed down below it, but on the weekly chart we held, didn't break out, broke out, coming back down towards support, and maybe from here people will be more interested in buying it, which may lead to more. Maybe next week might be a little bit more of a bullish week for us. I haven't taken off the log in such a long time on these GAN fan charts. That is interesting to see, though. That is very interesting to see. Now, of course, my lines are now messed up here a little bit, but I don't think that's too big of a thing. Oh, I took log off. That's what it was. So if I move these very fast, let me just see if anything actually happens here. This isn't what you're supposed to do. This is not what you're supposed to do. Just so you guys know, I'm just being a little bit of a nerd about it. Oh, but it's always fixed up there, so it didn't really do much there. Okay, I'll remove those drawings here, and I'll put the regular Bitcoin chart on there. But I do have to say I think that was fairly interesting to watch, to see how that kind of matched up a little too nicely, if you ask me. So I'll make a video about that, and I'll show you guys how to put that on your chart a little bit more efficiently than I did. But it seemed to work out just with me doing a little bit of eyeball testing, if you know ask me. Now I'll go back over here, 15 minutes. Let's see if we can bounce off of the fib levels. Is this right? Oh, I got to put log back on. Yeah, I was like, if you take log off, we bounce off of the Fibonacci level here, right there. I keep my logs on. That's just what I do. But if you guys wanted to do the log off, you see the Fibonacci levels change up here just a little bit. There we go. But log charts just they look a bit better to me. Although I do both. There's sometimes like usually in very bullish markets I'll turn log off. But when we're kind of in the more choppy waters, I seem to think of log as a better way for me to look at the charts. All right, turn that back over there. Daily down there as well. Let's see. I go. And hey, Joan, that's wild. Exactly. Let's see. Do you think we can even fall even lower than Ethereum Classic? We talked about that. What's the time frame for Death Cross? How's the crypto world doing so far in April? Oh, hey, Ryan. Happy to see you back. So far, it's doing okay, if you ask me. We still had a few good weeks, like a good last month. I'm so excited about where crypto's going, but right now, it seems like shorts are a little bit more in control than we want to admit. And even though we are at that support for that Ganfin level, if the market continues to go down, it seems like the market's going to be pulling Bitcoin down. Again, that goes back to the fact that, unfortunately, because of a lot of new money, a lot of institutional money going into crypto, we have seen it starting to be traded like it's a major index instead of being its own little crypto thing. And that won't last forever. It will eventually have a really parabolic boom again where altcoins go soaring and things of that nature. But until then, there's two things you can be doing are buying up small positions of crypto to add to your longer term positions, of course, and then just doing the practicing of the day trading and the swing trading, of course, and working on those patterns and so much and so forth, right? But right now, I'll make a video tomorrow talking about the GAN fans and how we kind of found that out, because I didn't know that when I took off the logs. I wasn't expecting that. I knew it was a little bit off, but I was like, maybe it'll fit a little bit better here, but not like that. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you guys like a video about that type of stuff, the GAN fans, and maybe looking at them from different perspectives here, especially with the log off. Normally I have log on, of course, but that'll be interesting to watch and see how it ends up playing out. Because if we can use that as support right now, then according to that, this may actually hold here. This trend line may hold here, and then maybe the weekly candle can still finish up and close above the 20-week moving average, and then have a stronger rally that might take out the 200 daily moving average going forward. Now, of course, nothing's perfect, right? But the fact that it is a little bit of support does kind of help us out there, especially something that has been a reliable support and resistance. That was a little too reliable, if you ask me. I'd never seen something that crystal clear in my life. And well, you guys look at other YouTubers, I assume, just like I watch certain other ones like Cohen and Digital Asset News over with Rob. Um, I don't know if any of them have brought that up before, that specific GAN fan level. So I'll make a video talking about it tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know some of my thoughts, and maybe it might show us some good buying opportunities in the future here, especially if Bitcoin were to take a larger dump. It looks like that GAN fan level would probably be a good level to start buying at. Let's see. And hi, hey Lion, have a good rest of your night, man. And hey Courtney, okay, that's good to know because I'll make a video for you guys. That yeah, I mean, it's just me. Maybe I'm too excited about it, but I geek out at those type of like scenarios there, like the fact that it worked out so perfectly, that is insane. So yeah, I'll make a video about it tomorrow, and then I'll give you guys some of my thoughts about it, and maybe I'll add on the two 45-degree angles and not just the negative 45-degree angles and see what happens there. But it seems like that's exactly what's keeping Bitcoin kind of in the race right now, are those GANFAN levels. And that shows you that even I missed some very crucial stuff. Can you imagine if I knew this back? More of a hindsight thing now because we didn't know exactly where it was going to stop. But can you imagine if I had done that like back a few weeks ago. I'm gonna I'll open up a new little dashboard up here, this little one, and a chart layout, and I'll have it specifically designed for like six different ways to view the GAN fan levels. Some are more short term, some are more long term, and some have like all of them on there, so we can see every single freaking level of support, so forth. With maybe the longer term ones being thicker and more shorter term ones having the thinner lines, right? Um, because we do tend to bounce off of those levels before we even do fall back down, so they may lead to some good day trades for us. But I'll work on that tomorrow morning, and it should be done by tomorrow afternoon, sometime around 12 p.m. Pacific time, maybe, or maybe even 11 p.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Excuse me, Pacific time, giving you guys on the East Coast a time to watch it, maybe during your lunch break, or maybe by the time you guys are finished work and heading back home on the subway or on the Uber or the car or something like that. Let's see. Hey Ryan, when a stock drops below a support level and makes a newer support level, but keeps heading up and tapping the old support level, is that a good indication it's heading further down? A lot of times, yes. There are a lot of people that will actually wait for that to happen, and they won't actually buy until it comes back up. So, if I were to draw it here on this screen, if I just kind of move Bitcoin's price up a little bit to this no man's land, let's say we had a trend line that. Well, it's a magnet. Let's say we had a trend line like this, and we had something, riding up on it. A lot of times it will break down, go back up, and then do the tank. I don't know exactly why that is. It's just a pattern I've noticed so much over time. And I think that's just because there's a last ditch effort to try to boost us back up to above the resistance to try to save it, basically. But rarely does it ever save it. I think it's a sign of desperation, and those desperate buyers end up being the ones that sell off really fast right afterwards. Uh, because if you think about it, if you short a position right here, you may go negative for a little bit waiting for that to happen. But some people will just say, hey, instead of doing this, I'll only buy if it comes back over here. So, for instance, if, let me get rid of this very fast. Let's go back over here and make this auto. If we go back over here and look at some of these other charts, Ethereum, is there a good example here on Ethereum? No. No, Doge is too much right now. Matic, no, there's not going to be a good example here. It's more on like the short term charts. No, Luna, no. Just kind of like the same thing with Luna. Sometimes it comes up, then we dip back down, then we start ripping up because the resistance has already been blown. Sometimes people don't buy on the breakout; they wait for it to come back down if they can't, and then they ride it up. What's a good example here? Probably not going to find one in a short amount of time. But if you ever look at the patterns that I share with you guys, can you guys? Oh, you guys won't be able to see them, but that's fine. I'll open up an image. That, that one. That one's older. And let me go to patterns. What's a good one? What's a good one? What's a good one? Head and shoulders, possibly. Yeah, I mean, that should work out for us. Oh, the heck? It's not even showing the image, even though I just got it. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna delete this image and then put a new image up. Add source image. Browse. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you see this head and shoulders right here? You see, you can't see my mouse right now, but you see how after number six, it comes down, comes back up, and then it comes back down again. That happens more than you think. Maybe it happened on the Bitcoin chart here. Let me remove the image here. Maybe it happened on Bitcoin's chart. Let me find a naked Bitcoin chart for us or a plain one. See how like this is one of the many necklines as far as Bitcoin was concerned. We had one right there, more of a flat one, one right there, and then we had one that was more body to body. So body to body right there. Um, excuse me. But if you look at this one, which is like kind of the easiest one to locate, low, low, draw on the line, you can see we came down, we broke down for a few days, we ultimately came back up. You saw shorts really start to tack hard here, and then boom, we came down, and the shorts had the benefit of using the 20-day moving average as a level of resistance to really stop us from going any higher on top of that. Um, right? So it happens more than you think. I mean, it also ended up being the support, the resistance level that we've been dealing with for a while now, right? Tapped it, still can't get above the 200 here. The 200 is the real resistance, but you can also see that this old neckline here has also been a level of resistance that we've been paying attention to. And then going forward here, now we kind of have this channel, at least on this circumstance, a channel. Otherwise, in some circumstances, you're going to have this be more of an ascending, a rising wedge, just with that little move right there, right? So you'll notice that it happens a lot. While day trading, you may notice you'll probably see it more often than you will see it on the daily charts here, just because it takes forever, right? Like one day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of waiting, a whole week of waiting before you might have opened up a position there just to watch it come down a whole bunch the next day, come back up a little bit more, kind of making you worry a little bit. But then ultimately, you're going to have to hold this position for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days to make the maximum amount of profit. Some people might have scaled out here or here, because especially if you guys were holding any of this with leverage, let's say you just had a smaller amount of leverage, like a 5% short on Bitcoin. Well, if you shorted it right on the trend line, which most people would, right, resistance, and you just kind of sell it right down here, not even on the big drop off, just right here, that 8% times 5, you're still going to be making about like 40% profit just off of 8 days of holding. That's not bad if you think about it, right? Now, if you guessed it perfectly and you got it all the way down here, that's 20%, 21% times 5, and then you're looking at about 100% profit for just holding in about 10 days. Right? So it's a good way to trade. It happens way more than you think. Some patterns show it on there, some patterns don't, but I've seen it happen more times than quite often enough for me to notice it when I see it, right? And then again, using this line going forward, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, you can see how it's still a level of resistance for us, and we still have not been able to close it above it. And then now, we're kind of, like, at least according to this one little thing we're looking at, the trend lines, we're looking at this this nice little channel that we're in. So I'm okay if Bitcoin stays in this channel, but if we stay in this channel, that still means we have an opportunity to go back down to like $38,000. And nobody wants to see their altcoins when Bitcoin's at $38,000. I tell you that. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of how it works. You see it happen quite a bit. You know, it does help out, and sometimes it's a safer way to play it, especially if you want to be a little bit more conservative. Or I don't even use it as more of a conservative play. I kind of trade it like I would trade anything else, like before, like when the breakdown's originally happening. But what I might do is if we do make it back up to that neckline there, what I might do is I might double down on the position and then wait for it to eventually go back down. Just because sometimes if when you're at that level, you know, has an upward trend line. At least that for that scenario, you are at a loss at that point in time, right? After the short, you bought the short, you open the short. It's been going down. It curls back up to test that resistance again. That's still above what you shorted, so you're still down. You double down, and you hope that it goes down. And that scenario, it was a little bit easier to tell just because with the 20-day moving average causing us some concern, because that was really the level of resistance that we were having trouble with. But yeah, happens way more than you think. The more you guys look at charts, the better you guys will be able to notice these small little things that happen. Like you noticed it happens a lot. And you can just see in that Bitcoin chart. You see how that one line, that one neckline from way back then, it's still a level of resistance that we've still been having trouble breaking out above. It's been rough for us right there, right? Bitcoin's been struggling getting over that level for like the past few months now. I'm back. Was talking to a brother I have not seen in 12 years. Sorry. Hey, Jib Bob, no worries. Have fun with your brother, my man. That's awesome. I don't even have a brother. I have a sister. Now, she's fun, but man, I wanted a brother to do stupid stuff with. And hey, Ryan, It's tapped the old support level on the new resistance like 4 times at 48 and close today just below it, which is good for me. If it goes back down, then yeah, I mean, definitely use that strategy if it helps you out. Look at the charts and see if you can find those similar patterns. And a lot of times it'll help you get some good buying opportunities and some good, you know, help you find some good entries. Whether you make a large position out of it or not, you can use a whole bunch of technicals on top of it, of course. But it's definitely going to help you out if you start to memorize those little breakdowns and such. Like right here, just on the 15, we broke down below the Ganfan level. We came back up to test it, then ultimately came back down, came back down, came back down. Now, we also use the 20 moving average over here, so maybe you just wanted to short it right here. And then once it started breaking out above and closing above the 20, now you sold it. And if you have a 5x leverage play, you know, for 5 hours, you know, you made like maybe, 5%? Not a lot, but it's better than 1% that you might have gotten. And if you're okay with just waiting a few hours or 5-6 hours for it, it's not anything really terrible if you ask me. And then of course we were closing down a little Ganfan level, so you guys could have held on a little bit longer if you wanted to and held on to the 50, whatever. But you know, my point is you would have walked away with profit, and that's the main goal here. Now, if you wanted to start scaling out at that level and waiting to see if we actually got back up higher, go for it, right? But you have the opportunity there, and because you shorted at the proper time, especially when it kind of tapped back up, you have a little bit more confidence that even if you go negative, you should still be fine going forward. And well, depending on the trend line here, that one was going up, so you know it kind of got negative. This trend line, it wouldn't go negative again unless it like started skyrocketing. Then it might hit your stop loss before anything. But in this case, we have the moving averages to kind of help guide us downwards a little bit more if you're trying to open up a short position. Okay. But okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. I need to go shopping for some duck right now. Bitcoin's still coming down here. We'll see if it actually does manage to bounce a little bit later on tonight. If Bitcoin's doing anything crazy tomorrow, I'll make sure to go live with you before my normal 6 p.m. time Pacific. Also, I will be putting out that Ganfan level for you guys and maybe a general video about Bitcoin. My video today was a little bit too short. I wanted to start making them under a minute, but I feel like I'm missing out too much stuff. So they may just turn out to be like 3-minute Bitcoin update videos to let you guys know what's going on. And then we should be good from there. So thank you guys so much for watching the stream. And I will see you guys again tomorrow afternoon at 6 p.m. or sooner if Bitcoin really is having a rough time in the daytime or something like that. Be watching very closely to see what happens if we do tap on support here and we bounce, or if we start getting a large short attack that might bring us back down towards the 41,000, 40,000 by the next 24 hours. Okay.